A 4-1 victory for VGK last night. I'm not going to lie. Let's get to it from the top. Enjoying the game until the refs had that non-call on the Ivan Barbashev goal. It made it 3-1 at the time. Barbashev should have been hit with a penalty on the play, slashing call, something. It was a 3-1 game. Barbashev scores. Why ruin a good game? We'll debate that point, I'm sure, coming up at the top. And Adin Hill, now the latest member of the MASH unit, as he goes down to the first period. We'll get to all that and much, much more in this edition of Lockdown Golden Knights.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I love those opens because you kind of have Goalie where he can't say anything, but we'll get to it.
I can say whatever I want.
I know you were going to jump in there. Tony Cardasco and Chris Goalie from Las Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen every day. Find us wherever you get your podcast. I'm a longtime sportscaster, a marketing consultant, and the host of the Believe in Vegas podcast. Chris, the owner of Silver State Cards and Sports, and the host of the Hockey News Collectibles Show, starring the one and only Chris Goalie. Coming up ahead on today's show, we're going to take a look at the two major injuries for VGK. Injuries are mounting. Of course, the Stone injury, Adin Hill's injury, and how they will affect the team. Don't forget, you can catch us now each and every day on the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network. Tune in Monday through Friday, 1 o'clock. That's the place to be on Cox Cable Channel 77. We are brought to you today by FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com. Okay, let's get to it. So I was really enjoying this game. Absolutely, I was into it until the non-call. Ivan Barbashev's goal should have been a call against VGK.
Why?
As he slashes Keandre Miller and takes the puck away, races in, and scores the goal.
It's a former Ranger.
That becomes a 2-goal lead at the time, and I really feel as though it tainted the game. An otherwise good battle. Missed a call in which Marner got dumped early on. There's stupid calls everywhere. I never complain about the refs. I don't. Right? In the 3+ years that you've been on this show, do you remember me? Do you recall me making any kind of comments about the refs other than
anytime Carlson gets touched and draws a penalty?
Well, okay, that's fair. Other than, the times that they stay in the 5-star hotels here in Vegas and get the spa treatment and all that. I'm not going to complain. In any event, it was the Barbashev close shave of the game. I tweeted out last night, Earlier, I said, back in the day, that wasn't a slash. You touch a guy on the mitts, and they call it a stinking slash. Well, very quickly, yes, it was a crossover move. Not going to deny that. Won't deny that one bit. However, you see, as you slow down that replay, it's a crossover move. Barbashev, he whacks at him real fast with the stick. Oh, yeah, kind of subtle. Yeah, really? And then they don't make the call. Barbashev scores 3-1. Game over. Some other guy gets an empty net goal. All of that. I'm still steamed about it because I felt as though it ruined an otherwise really good game. And cut it. Just quit it with the Keandre Miller embellishment on the play. He was crossed over. It was pretty bad. If he just let him fall, that's fine. I don't care. A great move. Crosses him over. But otherwise, nah.
So why was he falling?
He got crossed over. That was it. It was a crossover move like you see in hoops.
Crossed over even mean?
A crossover move where you start like one way and then you go back the other way. And the guy, sometimes you just leave them in the dust. They fall down, all that. You don't see that in basketball with the cross?
I do. I see the basketball reference. I'm thinking like the Allen Iverson, Michael Jordan, when Iverson broke MJ's ankles. I think I kind of see where you're going with it. So,
yes,
but all right,
that's fine. But you cannot deny that Barbashev didn't stick his stick in there. You can't deny that. And the embellishment, oh my gosh, that argument's got to go.
All right, so if you slow it down, I think it was Bar Down had a good angle of it. You slow it down before there's any contact with Barbashev's stick on. Who was the Hurricanes player? I don't even know who it was.
It was Keandre Miller.
It was Keandre Miller. We just talked about this.
Of course.
Okay, so
listen. Former Ranger, of course it's going to happen to him.
All right, so real fast.
Watch and they overpaid him. They overpaid him
speed.
in Carolina. Okay.
Watch it in 0.25 speed. and you see Keandre Miller's left foot buckling and losing an edge.
He got crossed. Yeah,
His
he got
boot
crossed
is
over.
already making contact with the ice before Barbashev's stick makes contact with Miller's stick. It's a play
Fair.
that happens 100 times a game. Stick wax to the hip, to the stick, and stuff like that.
Fair. That's a slash.
If you want to, I'll meet you at the fact that Barbashev was coming down a little bit instead of coming in parallel. But it's something that happens 100 times a game. You didn't even see Keandre Miller didn't even get up and get upset about it, Tony. Keandre Miller didn't say a word.
Did.
Brindamore was pissed, but
he was pissed.
I was actually just Googling here
or
searching on Twitter to see if there's any comments and any quotes from Brindamore about it. And I
was
also don't know
looking
what comments were post game, but
I didn't see any. No. But Keandre Miller, he's used to losing, right? So he doesn't care.
Sure.
Okay, so you still believe, though, that there should have been a non-call there? Because
no call whatsoever. He fell, Tony. He fell. Watch his feet. Watch his feet.
Okay. Are you in agreement that Barbashev at least took a whack at him real fast?
He 100% took a whack at him. He did what happens 100 times a game. Absolutely.
Okay. No, well, they called lesser penalties last night for slashing. Lesser. I even tweeted out earlier. I said back in the day, you had a whack at a guy before they called a slash. Now you just touch him a couple of times. You touch him in the mitts, or you just reach around with your stick, and they're going to call a slashing penalty. So, okay.
Dorofeev had a real nice goal yesterday.
Okay, we'll move on, but let's talk. We'll talk more about it later. But VGK losing Adin Hill, an injury goes down 10 minutes into the game. Golden Knights are playing well at that point. Akira Schmid comes in, saves 23 of 24 shots on net. The one way that they're going to get this guy right is make sure, like at the skate around, make sure that he's not the first goalie off the ice. So make him think that he's not going to start and then insert him into the game, because I think that's the mental part.
They need to do hockey versions of bullpen games. Let someone else start for like 4 or 5 minutes, then bring Schmid in.
There you go. He's a good goalie coming out of the bullpen. Absolutely. Jack Eichel, number 2 star of the week in the NHL, got the scoring going. He didn't even have to touch the puck. That was a seeing eye goal. I want you doing baseball references here. That was a seeing eye goal. Keandre Miller tips it into net in the 5-hole. He was everywhere on the wrong end of things. But how lucky has Jack Eichel been? We saw the game where the puck took the left turn there against the Sharks. So much puck luck, and I don't want to hear Cassidy complaining that this team does not have the aforementioned puck luck.
When you're playing great, you get good luck, and he got some great luck on that play. But listen, you put the puck to the money zone. I tell both the teams I coach, you put the puck in the money zone, good things happen. And Jack Eichel's game log is just nuclear right now. 4-2-1, 2-2-4-1. That's his game-by-game point total, 16 points in 7 games on this young season.
It's ridiculous, right? Yeah, you did want to talk. That was an amazing goal by Pavel Dorofeev.
Forsberg, the Peter Forsberg goal.
He pulls the Peter Forsberg on the stick move. Again, 7th goal of the season. So it's the Forsberg where you fake a shot one way, you pull the goalie out, you reach around, and you score with one hand, right? Because that was, I think, was it the 1994 Olympic Games when that was the play that he unveiled there for. He's from Sweden, right? I think he's Swedish. And kudos to the TV crew, because at intermission, I don't think you saw, but he pulled that same move, and they had the video. He pulled that same move in Henderson, which I thought was
I've
really
seen
good.
it in Henderson, so yes.
Okay.
Listen, Dorofeev, by the end of the year, we're talking about a possible elite winger. He's a deathly scorer right now. There's no doubt about that. And what I like is you did hear Cassidy talking in the post game about other aspects of his game that are expanding, as far as stronger on the pucks, harder to take the puck from, working harder in the board battles. He's now a trustworthy player on both ends of the ice. Yeah.
And VGK, they just might want to consider shutting him down at this point, because otherwise he's going to be worth like $12 million.
Yeah, no,
shut him down.
1.2 is out the window from AFB.
That's way. There's no way. There's no turning back for VGK.
8 times 8 if VGK is lucky.
There's no way he's going to settle for $8 million. And of course,
he shouldn't.
Oh yeah, I do want to talk maybe later on about the poor line changes Keandre Miller out there on the ice, and they almost scored twice there, and what have you. Defenseman.
Keandre Miller's in the middle of all the bad things.
All the bad things, of course. Mark Stone listed as week to week with a wrist injury. We know that means a lot to VGK in Golden Knightville, and he could be gone for a while. How VGK will compensate for his loss next on this edition of Lockdown Golden Knights. Well, that was a poor line change. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win at FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com. Now is the time. The NFL season is in full swing, and that's right. The Raiders cannot lose this week. They have a bye week. Pick a bet, put down $5. If that bet hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets that you can use across the app. And, of course, there's so much fun that you could have on FanDuel. And we definitely love how FanDuel gives you the flexibility to wager on all sorts of bets. You can play in so many ways. You can build the same game parlays. You can try the player props, and you can even follow the live lines during the course of the game. And it definitely makes watching football a lot more fun. And whether you're a casual fan or you love to dive into the stats, FanDuel makes it very much an exciting game day experience. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com today, download the FanDuel app, and you can get started. Yeah, that was a poor line change. We're back. Okay, and welcome back. Lockdown Golden Knights from Las Vegas, Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick. We appreciate you making us your first listen every day. So the $280 million Blue Jays against the $417 million payroll of the Dodgers. So who wins? Of course.
That's why you play the games. That's why you play the games.
You buy the chips. No, you just buy championships today. You said that these injuries, I think you tweeted out yesterday, reminded you of season 5 for VGK. Mark Stone placed on the IR yesterday prior to last night's game, listed now as week to week. In VGK terms, he's going to be out for a while. A lot of selfies at the supermarket and all that. He suffered the wrist injury against the Flames when he clipped the skate of a Gary player. And in the interim, VGK put your guy, Brandon Saad, in Stone's spot on the top line. And Mitch Marner takes over Stone's spot on the power play unit. Shea Theodore assumes the role of QB1. Is this a temporary fix?
I mean, you look at the hockey stat card, it goes Barbashev, Eichel, and Saad. And Saad, that's more of a product of his situation than his individual play. For what it's worth, Saad was around it yesterday. Saad was finding some soft ice. That's what happens when you play on a line with Jack Eichel. And I felt he had an effective game. I didn't I think it was late in the third, shot right at the pretty good grade A chance. And you just don't, you're not confident watching him shooting the puck and right off the goalie's logo. And again, we're talking one shot, no big deal. But point is, I don't get a warm and fuzzy feeling about Brandon Saad being on this team, let alone being on the top line. Now, same breath, this is the best option right now, given the injury circumstances. Brett Howden would be a nice fit on that top line. Obviously, he's injured right now, but hopefully he'll be on the road trip. Alex Holtz. He's one of the segments you and I pitched, and maybe we'll talk about it more since we're going to have plenty of time this week to talk about random topics. I feel Holtz and Saad are going in opposite directions. Holtz just seems much more effective out there, and you wonder if that's going to be a possibility at some point. But Saad, I mean, listen, he sees the moment. He was okay. He wasn't bad by any means, and maybe give him some time to get some chemistry. Maybe he will start finding ways to have more effective games and touches on the puck and get on the score sheet.
You also pointed out now that the LTIR playoff loophole is closed. Explain.
Yeah, I mean, everyone is yapping on Twitter. Oh, Mark Stone's hurt. He's going to be back game 1 of the playoffs and everything. Yeah, but again, who cares? The LTIR loophole when come playoff time is gone. You cannot exceed the salary cap with your players on the ice, no matter what the circumstances are. So you got a bunch of clowns on Twitter or X, we're supposed to call it these days. I still call it Twitter. You got a bunch of clowns just chirping that Mark Stone is down, and the hatred towards Mark Stone, like I don't know, it's very deflating looking at everything that people are saying on social.
It's the hatred towards VGK from the opposing fans. It's not.
It is, but
nothing about him.
Like you made the comment, he was clumsy going into the corner and foul.
Oh my God,
valid,
clumsy,
very valid, very valid. 100%
he was clumsy
valid.
coming out. Someone called that a slew foot. Like how?
No, the slew foot, the Flames thing is nothing. You're talking the thing in the corner,
right?
So clumsy, when he almost broke his nose, or maybe he did break his nose
to the wall in the corner, and then comes out, clips an opponent's skate, and that's how he gets injured. And everyone's like, "Oh man, that was the dirty hit." What?
No, it wasn't dirty at all. But point being is when you specifically when he went headfirst into the corner, people saying, "Oh, it should have been, it couldn't have happened to a nicer person," and all these tropes. That's just a line being crossed right there. It's unfortunate. And Stone, I mean, what a season he was having, and
oh man,
it's just he's had such bad luck. Like, yes, I get the injury references, and I mean it's a whole the Golden Knights
scored over 70 points.
Oh, I just pulled up Michael Stone's stats. Why would Michael Stone? Okay, never mind. All right,
okay.
Michael Stone, great Flames, great player, but I mean, 13 points in 6 games for Mark Stone. Right. 67 last year, 53 and 56 the season before.
67's his high. Yeah, that's his high. He would have scored 70 for sure. So minus Stone, I went back and took a look at VGK's record since 2022, and 46, 24, and 12. 46-20. That includes last night's game since 2022 without Mark Stone. So they found someone to step up every time he's gone out.
The Golden Knights got a deep roster. I mean, this is a good team. This is a really, really good team. And, the biggest concern coming in was as these pieces get moved around, what happens with the defense, and the defense is pulling their weight right now. And that's the most important takeaway. The goaltending has been pulling its weight for the most part. Another real important perspective, and we'll talk more in the third segment about what the goaltending is going to look like in the next month or two. But without Mark Stone, presumably 6, 7, 8 weeks, that's going to be the ballpark. If it's month to month, you can assume 2.5 months or greater. Week to week puts it right in that 1 to 2 month range. I think you're going to see a very similar timetable from what Shea Theodore suffered when he got hurt at the exhibition tournament last year. So
it's broken. I mean, let's face it. It's either broken or fractured.
There's a bone break or a fracture or something in there, 100%.
Of course, they do want to name the Olympic team relatively soon, and Stone's selection could be in jeopardy, right?
If Stone is healthy, if Stone is presumed to be healthy, he's got a spot. He's locked on that roster.
Right? You think they'll lock him in even if he still isn't ready?
I mean, what about Adin Hill on that roster? That's probably the bigger conversation.
Is he good enough to make that roster right now? That's the bigger question. Is he
it's a cesspool of there's not.
I mean, I think last night was the tryout game, wasn't it? Like they just.
I don't think they played the Blues. They didn't play the Blues, did they?
That's right. And, again, Eichel can make anyone look like a superstar, including Brandon Saad. So he got some clean looks. Yes, of course, they were into the crest, but he did get some looks last night.
He was around it. No, he was around it. And, again, how are the Golden Knights going to pick up the pieces in Stone's absence on that top line? It's fortunate for the Golden Knights that it's someone who's been playing along Jack Eichel for the last couple of games, and Jack Eichel has the ability to make people look pretty good on his line, and I'm not taking anything away from Mark Stone and his accomplishments for the last few seasons. Mark Stone greater than symbol Brandon Saad and a lot of wingers on the Vegas Golden Knights. But Saad, this is why, again, as down as I've been on Saad, and this is why you have him on the roster for moments like this when you need a veteran player who's going to go to the right places, do the right things. He has championship pedigree. I mean,
there's a pedigree.
This is where McCrimmon looks good for extending Saad. This is where McCrimmon looks good for extending Saad. Now we'll see how it works out in the coming weeks, obviously.
Of course, I do want to talk about that Sebastian Aho goal where he scores through Jeremy Lauzon's legs on a very poor line change. And Riley Smith, I thought initially it was Carlson, but I think it was Smith, dumps the puck in. And takes their sweet, blessed time to get off the ice. Carlson was just out sauntering, Sunday stroll, like whatever, Monday stroll. By the time they changed the line, VGK was back in poor position. And then the other poor position was the Keandre Miller breakaway. Riley Smith and Carlson, again, it's them. They walked off the ice first, and then it was the defenseman on the second line change. That was really bad. It's something they have to get right here moving forward for sure. Coming up next, we will be taking a look.
Moving forward.
moving ahead. Adin Hill, there you go, injured again. The second time in this young season. Akira Schmid, hips don't lie, had to come in cold in the first period. More ahead on Locked On Golden Knights. Most people cannot name all their financial accounts, or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks or properties or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving a lot of loot on the table. And that's where there's Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal financial tool. It brings all of your entire finances together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or on your phone. Monarch is definitely built for busy people like myself and Goalie. And if you put off organizing your finances, then Monarch is definitely for you. It does all the heavy lifting. You can link all your accounts in a matter of minutes. You can see clear data. And of course, you can get smart categorization of your spending and finally feel that you're in control of all your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. So make sure that you don't let financial opportunity slip through the cracks. Do it today. Use the promo code LOCKEDONNHL at monarchmoney.com. You can do it in your browser, and you'll receive half off for your first year. That's 50% off of the first year at monarchmoney.com. Use the promo code LOCKEDONNHL. Back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights, Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick reporting from Las Vegas. We appreciate you making us your first listen. Please make sure to subscribe to our Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel. And I'm still heated about the Barbashev goal. You know what? I'm hot. If we did the show last night, they would have to bleep out a lot on SSSEN. They would have to bleep out a ton. I
lost all my shut up Tonys, or I would have hit one right there.
I know. I had one last night. Fans were telling me to shut up. Go back in the corner. Okay, so don't forget Fridays, WTF Day. We have a full week here. Is South Beach Bruce, is he departing today? Was he on the overnight flight to Miami?
Until Thursday or Friday.
Come on. He'll have that perfect tan. And he'll be swaying. He'll be swaying like that. Adin, he hasn't done much swaying lately. I think he's aware now. Adin Hill, injured again. Second time this season. The first time was against Gary about a week ago on the road. And then Akira Schmid had to come into the game cold for a second time last night. And so last week, Adin Hill hit in the family jewels somehow. Last night, he stretched out the left leg and he tried to make a save. He did make the save. Then he couldn't get back up. Looked like an injury consistent with a muscle pull, a tweak, or was it a tweak, a non-tweak? Was it a groin, hammy? Something was wrong because he limped off the ice, and that left leg just couldn't move it. He was in a lot of pain.
I think you have anywhere from, like you said, groin to hammy to hips to ACL.
Put it. Oh, you threw the hips in there. Wow.
I would put in any of those four areas as far as where it could be. And I mean, if you got a groin or a hammy issue going on, that's tough because that's really the type of injury that just heals whenever it decides to. And you go back to Logan Thompson, for example. Logan Thompson coming back from injury in the Stanley Cup season, the game against the Preds, he lasted not long and unfortunately re-injured himself. Probably shouldn't have been out there that soon, but that's just bad luck, unfortunately. So I'm not saying that you mentioned the family jewels. Yeah, that's what happened a few weeks or a couple weeks ago, whatever it was. So I don't think there's any correlation to last night's injury, but it's unfortunate for Adin because we've talked about a lot how he has just constantly committed to keeping his body much healthier. And again, going back all the way from his 2020-21 Arizona season, 19 appearances, 21-22 San Jose 25, signs with VGK 27, That's the Stanley Cup year, 23, 24, 35. And then last season, 50 appearances for Adin. So, unfortunate for someone who seems to have figured out his body and, but there's also just variance and luck involved and stuff like that. And there's some injuries you can't prepare for. And, you hope Adin's back sooner than later, but this is going to open the door for Carl Lindbom right now. Yes, Akira Schmid, we talked a lot about him, but you'd expect a call up for Carl Lindbom, assuming this is any type of, not good injury. And Lindbom on this young season, 2 games played. How about a one goals against and a .958 save percentage, stopping 46 of 48 shots so far in this young season with Henderson.
1-0-1. He lost in a shootout, I think. I told you that Henderson team was going to be much better. .958 save percentage. I still think he's a better goaltender overall than Akira Schmid. And
we have to see him at the NHL level. I'm very excited. I'm very high on Lindbom, but let's see him at the NHL level, which we're going to now. We're going to.
I still say goaltending is iffy at best. I do. And I'm not quite sure. Like if they're going to get to the finish line, even if Hill is healthy. Again, I think
if they got there, Tony, in the Stanley Cup year with going all the way to Jonathan Quick and Yuri Patera, they can find a way to do it this year.
Okay, and Brossoit. Don't forget our guy.
Brossoit would have been the Stanley Cup winner if he would have been healthy that entire postseason.
Okay, and the other guy too. But I'm still saying it's iffy. Also on the injury front, let us point out Noah Hannafin, not sure if he's going to travel for the 3-game road swing, I should say.
Skated yesterday.
He skated, as did Brett Howden. So he could be back. So
I think you'll see one of the two definitely. And back to the Hill situation, no clue how long this is going to be, whether we're talking a week or so, or a week to week, or a month to month designation. But you'd be remiss if you didn't mention that this also opens the door for Carter Hart potentially.
Yeah, and we'll see him in action
2.5 weeks
in Henderson. November the 15th is the first day that he can skate with them, and so Lindbom, I think he'll get a chance. And if there's 3,
I'm excited for Lindbom.
Yeah, he might get a chance there in one of the 3 games. And I also wonder if the family jewel injury is a chronic injury, for Adin Hill. We appreciate everyone tuning in. Thank you so much. Of course, you're running into a lot of fans these days, right?
Yeah, fortunately, I didn't get the gentleman's name at the end of the game, but it was nice just having a moment and showing some love for the show and what we do. So it's awesome when we do have those interactions.
I'm glad that we have one really kind person on this show that goes out and does the PR stuff for us. Don't forget Friday's WTF, back again tomorrow. We appreciate you tuning in. From a man, Chris Golick, Tony Cardasco, so long for now from Las Vegas on Lockdown Golden Knights.